watching Cable 10, Aurora, Illinois Community Access Channel.
It's 10:30. It's time to party. I'm your excellent host, Wayne Campbell. With me, as always, is Garth. Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth.
Party on, Northern Virginia. This is Tracey, Barrett, Colin, doing our Friday lives, and I am really excited to come to you guys today. Supposed to have a partner, but I think we forgot. Long story short, I am with the Focus on Nova Real Estate team, and this is our Friday lives where we bring you what's happening in Northern Virginia. It dawned on me as I was pulling this together last night that this reminds me so much of cable television and Wayne's World and SNL and Mike Myers and Dana Carvey and just how funny they were. So here we are at our own local, the new local cable channel, bringing you Focus on Nova Live. So I'm Tracey Barrett with the Focus on Nova Real Estate team. We're a team of real estate agents, 5 of us that work our tails off to get our people sold and making them money and getting our purchasers into properties without having them spend all the money in the whole wide world to do it. So let's get started with what's happening with our things to do in Northern Virginia today. I'm going to skip the movie because we don't need it. Oh, hold on, I gotta go over here. There we go. Oh, it's gonna get in the loop. There we go. So a couple things that I saw, thanks to the Washingtonian magazine, is their pop-ups are like the latest and greatest thing. We have got really good friends coming into town, and we're gonna be doing the Friends experience downtown with our teenagers, which should be really fun, kind of throwback for us, and for them it's fun to also do a throwback. But in Springfield Mall, there will be a pop-up that is going to be mimicking the Coming to America movie fast food restaurant McDowells. It's a pop-up. It is, as I said, not coming to America. It's coming to Virginia in Springfield Mall. So be on the lookout for that this spring. You'll be able to go eat at McDowell's, but they'll also have Akeem's, a.k.a. Eddie Murphy, and Arsenio Hall's apartment, and you'll be able to go hang out in their apartment and just kind of have a good time. So check out the movie, and I have to say the reboot of that movie was super clever, maybe not Academy Award winning, but clever, and I loved all the nods to the original movie. It was really, really well done. So check that out. That's coming to Springfield Mall. Moving forward, it's back. Finally, we can get back out again. The White House Easter egg roll is back after taking a 2-year COVID hiatus. So that is something that's super fun, which brings me to what you guys need to be doing is heading over to focusonnova.com and starting today and through the 4th. Maura Stevens has been working like a dog to pull together the things to do list. And this is everything from spring festivals to Easter egg hunts to farmers markets, you name it, but things to do not only in April, but also a guide to spring in the Northern Virginia area. So check it out. There's going to be lots of things done there. We had a really interesting week, starting with last Saturday. Maura and I had this really great event over in the Rutherford community of Fairfax, over in the Woodson High School District. We hired It's Haul Good to come in with their truck and invited neighbors to bring a bunch of their junk to get it removed out. It was good. They took away about 3/4 of a truck full of people's items that we're able to donate. So that was really good, and we appreciated the Civic Association giving us an opportunity to participate in that. And then the team was super busy. March, late February, beginning of March, proved to be very, very busy for us. This week alone, we closed and went under contract on 5 different houses. This one right here to my right is Cranberry Lane in Reston. That one just closed yesterday. My buyer right here for this one in Ashburn, that was a fun one. He had sold a house and had some cash and was moving into this one. So we swooped in and saw it really quick, called the agent, had his team, we were working with Brian came in over at George Mason Mortgage, had the loan officer, had Brian call the listing agent and just explain to them how important it was that the buyer was qualified, had the cash to make this happen. We made a very robust offer on this property, and what was fun is that the seller didn't want to wait. And because the team had the communication together and the qualifications lined up, He went ahead and took it off the market, and our guy won. So we closed that one yesterday, and that was a major coup in this market where there's deadlines and multiple offers and escalations. To be clear, he had to escalate, but it was nice that he didn't have to then have a nail biter till the end, and he got the property, which was huge. Over here on my left, this is a townhouse that Lynn and I listed in Lake Point community New Lake Point community over in the Burke area, right by Bunny Man Brewing. And what was fun on this one is our sellers reached out to us about 2 months in advance. We gave them a prep list. They worked really hard to get it done. We swooped in and did our staging, complimentary staging that we do with every single listing. And in the end, we ended up having 91 showings, and we had a ton of people through our open houses. We had 2 open houses. One of those people that came to the open house was unrepresented, and Maura, who's on our team, talked to them and said, well, do you want to put in an offer? And they did. So we were able to she was able to counsel them as to where the 16 offers stood, and not specifics necessarily, but knew that they needed to come in strong. And this guy won out over 16 other offers, making our sellers very happy, setting a record for this style unit in the neighborhood at a $545,000 sales price when it was listed at $480,000. That represents about a 14% over asking price, and that is what we're seeing in the market right now. So buckle up. It's really rough out there as far as how to win, but we're seeing anywhere from 12 to 15% over asking to win the deal. What's interesting here is that the super elevated, escalated properties that went under contract in February and March are now statistical points, data points that we can, and appraisers more importantly, can use to justify these high sales prices. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not that plateaus a little bit or if it continues to escalate at this time. But right now we're seeing that. Directly over my head here in the Brentwood Farms neighborhood, we closed yesterday. That house was listed at $880,000. And again, we ended up with 7 offers on that property. And while we had an offer at $1 million, the lender took forever to call us back when we were trying to negotiate. And then secondly, when they did finally call us back, they hadn't done anything. They hadn't seen the people's pay stubs, tax returns, nothing. So it was a blind approval, which did not give my team nor my sellers a confidence in the strength of an offer and the ability to waive an appraisal, which clearly was never going to make it at $1 million for a property that was listed at $880 based on the stats that had gone through. Long story short, we ended up with an offer at $970. They had, and this again gets to choose your team wisely. Who you work with matters, and your preparation matters. When we called the agent, he gave us all the information. We spoke with their lender, Nilesh, who was speedy on the return of phone calls, called us right back. He reassured us that everything had been looked at and that they had the cash to mitigate any type of shortfall in the appraisal. And this is Lynn and I's neighborhood, and it's super exciting that we've got brand new neighbors, and congratulations to them, and congratulations to our sellers who can start the next chapter of their lives. Last but not least, we have this gem right here on Arley Drive over in Springfield. We were prepping to get that one on the market, and again, we ended up with a really great offer that was super clean, and the sellers got everything that they wanted and didn't feel like they needed to even go on the market at that point. So long story short, we're under contract there. So it's been a busy March. We look forward to see how April plays out. We do have listings coming up, but not this week, so stay tuned for more information there. So what did we do on Focus on Nova, our social media this week, as well on our hot and fresh news? We did our home stories, and I did this one, and it was wonderful. Oh my goodness, if you have not been here, you need to check out this place. It's called Botanologica, and the 2 women owners, they have set up shop in the cutest little shabby chic Cape Cod house right on Broad Street, and they specialize in proper care of house plants and then decorating with those house plants. As you can see here, they did a beautiful job in the foyer using a bird bath, live plants surrounding it, and then organic sticks going up for the appeal as you come in with the pop of color. It's just super charming as far as when you go into the property. Over here, what you can see behind me is these are essentially card catalog boxes, and in each one that they pulled out at different levels are succulents. I just spent a ton of time in there and ended up walking out with 3 items, that 2 for my house and 1 for my neck, because they also have some human decorations as well. And it was really kind of a great shop. So if you're in Falls Church or you're looking for something unique to give somebody, this is a wonderful shop to stop into. Also, if you like locally sourced fresh cut flowers, their Bouquet of the Week Club has started and you can sign up for that. So check them out. Lynn Norusis had this listing over on Limpkin Drive in Fairfax, Virginia. This was, again, a sight unseen offer that the seller just could not refuse. So Lynn is going to break it down as far as what you can get for $755,000 in Fairfax. This is important, especially right now. If you're in the market or considering getting in the market, the interest rates are super volatile. So it's important that you're looking at these more recent what you get fors, because it's going to be reflective of what's happening in the market today. We are now in the high 4s on average for the interest rates. So check this out. It does impact affordability, and if you're currently in the market, you might want to hit your lender back up again to make sure that what you thought you can afford, you can still afford. And then Maura, what is on your credit report? This is so important. So what the point is here is whether you're in the rental market or you're ready to go out on the real market, the purchase market, not the real market, the purchase market, you need to be working closely with your lender or know what's on your credit report if you are a renter, because if you end up with a surprise, you're going to be spinning your wheels and wasting a lot of time. I guess the theme of this week is going to be prepare, prepare, prepare. The more you're prepared, the less surprises there are, and the more prepared you're going to be to actually get and compete for not only the rental properties that are out there, but also the purchases that are. Check Maura's cautionary tale. Coming up next week on Focus on Nova, as I said before, Maura's been rocking and rolling it and pulling together all the things to do in April. The grass is turning green. We've got all of those brand new shoots coming up with all of our spring plants. Now, if the rain would go away and stop being 20 degrees, that would be great. But check out our monthly things to do in April. That will live on our Hot and Fresh news page, so you can come back and check that back out again. It also lives underneath our bio on Instagram, and if you're in Facebook, you can go through the scroll and find that there as well. But lots of things for that she's pulled together in April, so check that out. In addition to that, we then get a little bit more general than just April, and we looked at all of the stuff coming up in April, May, and then, of course, the beginning of June. Maura's been working hard on that this week, so that will go up this week, I believe, on Thursday with our top 3 takeaway. So check out the spring guide because there's lots of things to do. Sharon and Lynn had this cute little townhouse down in Woodbridge that went for $347. So we have the one what you get for at $755 from last week. This week we're going to explore what you get for at $347. So check that out. We're going to explore 5%, 10%, and 20% down payments, and what it would take for you to afford a property at this price point. It also looks at, it's nice to look at these too, because it looks what you can get for $347 in Woodbridge is going to be totally different than what you can get for $347 in Falls Church. So check it out, see what the differences are, see what your payments look like. Lynn did take a time to go down. If you haven't been paying attention, Tyson's is 100% turning over and turning into boroughs that have lots of things to offer. The Perch at the Capital One Center is one of those things that is quite the draw. It is a forum for entertainment, programs, shows, the whole 9, and Lynn is going to do a hometown tour with you. So check that out later this week. This is the one that's on Thursday. This is the one that's on Thursday, so check that out. Lynn is going to be exploring that with you. As far as things to do this weekend, we kind of already went through all of that. Check it out. There's things to do with our spring guide and other guide. I'm Tracey Barrett with the Focus on Nova real estate team. Thanks for joining me today, and we will see you next Friday. If you have any questions about the real estate market, contact us today. Thanks.